Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the PPG Players Championship, capping off Season 2 here. Sorry for that little bit of an extended wait. We did catch just the tail end of Round 1, and as with most tournaments, Round 1 does take a little bit longer to make sure everybody reports to the right people and all that. Right now, what you're seeing is we are seeing Chrono in red playing some Salamangreats. They are up against Shannon Long, the Column King, as it would appear. I am Jacob, also known as Mambo from Team Mambo, joined today by Stevie Blunder. And what do we think about this particular matchup, as we kind of have to just guess what Shannon's playing, but I think we got a pretty good idea. Oh, looks like I missed him. But that is okay. Shannon Long is pretty well known. They won one of the PPG free weeklies a couple weeks ago playing a pure Mekk-Knight deck. Really put that deck on the map. And the pure Mekk-Knight deck is a very cool deck, one that has gotten a significant buff from Gearsu, the Mekk-Knight Orcus. Really bumped up the consistency of the deck and given it all sorts of tools, both for going first and second, and given the deck really similar to Altergeist Multifigures, really tied the deck all together.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize I was muted for like the past 5 seconds. I was like, did I miss an intro? But yeah, definitely. Pure Mekk-Knight's one of the most interesting decks out there. One of those decks that just like I'll always say, operates on a completely different axis of interaction, and is one of the, honestly, in my opinion, one of the most creative decks out there in terms of playstyle. Like you're playing, like your opponent's playing checkers with link monsters, but you're playing chess with Indigo going zoop zoop zoop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just such a cool archetype for sure. It's a very dangerous one too. The tempo that Altergeist, but the Mekk-Knight of Purple Nightfall and Mekk-Knight of Blue Sky can provide, just giving you all sorts of advantage, and then Purple being able to banish itself and then continuously come back is really impressive. And now you have things like Live, the World Chalice, I think it's Keymaster, and all sorts of other tools that the deck has now to lock your opponent out, even thanks to things like World Legacy Secret, World Legacy Whisper, and World Legacy Key.
Yeah, we've seen like a lot of different decks, like how powerful honestly Mekk-Knights can be, as well as the Mekk-Knight support that they've been given. Like Gearsu is a 1-card VFD Jormungandr and like generators. Lib is just so easily accessible in so many different decks. And now that Mekk-Knights have a searchable normal summon, that really helps push them up to that level of playability, where originally they were playing cards like Epira, and that card was definitely not on the same level as Gearsu.
Not even kind of close. I remember my first experience with the pure Mekk-Knight deck was when somebody in end phase World Legacy Memoried to get purple, and then is still in end phase, used purple's effect to grab Gearsu, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's pretty
so incredible.
But
it's really incredible, like how strong like the Mekk-Knight package is. Like, who would have guessed that like one banish a turn and like one self banish and like one search a turn is like all you need to make a good archetype.
And now, because we've been fawning over the Mekk-Knight deck, now we see that Chrono is playing Salamangreats. This is a deck. I remember the last time we commentated, Stevie, was we talked a lot about how Cybers in general gets all the good tools, I think is how you put it.
Yeah, Cybers gets all the fun toys.
They get all the good stuff. And we kind of see that right now, even, where we've seen sort of this steady evolution of the Salamangreat deck to include pretty much all of the just generically good Cybers tools. And it's just been able to keep the deck on tiered, really. I mean, on high tier even, for almost going on 2 years now, I think.
Honestly, yeah. It's been incredible. how much Salamangreat has gone to work with. They've got Link Revo, they've got Signet Mining, they've got the entire code generator deck. I mean, code generator engine.
Yeah.
But what's really for the Salamangreat player, they don't really have too many cards that they want to shuffle back with Sunlight Wolf, with the Green Horizon being summoned to that zone. It looks like, yeah, they're just going to go to battle phase, just trying to swing over that.
The other interesting thing is a common end board for Salamangreats is something similar to this, where it could be Sunlight Wolf pointing to a Lingering Bow, or even a transcode talker with co-linked to a Sunlight Wolf. And that is just free columns, as we see here with the Green Horizon. And that could be something to kind of keep an eye on for the rest of the match here, if they'll change their game plan, or if they'll just have to be forced to make their best possible play and give Shannon some of those free summons.
Yeah, definitely. One of the new developments I've actually seen in Salamangreat is the inclusion of Traptrix Rafflesia, I believe, to run one copy of a Gravedigger's Trap Bowl, because Salamangreat has a very crippling weakness in that it has no way to play around Nibiru. But with making the Rafflesia with something like Parallel Exceed, or honestly maybe like 2 like level 4 Salamangreat monsters like a Fowl and a Jack Jaguar, it just it really helps keep them in the game and not get blown out by powerful OTK decks like Mekk-Knight, of course.
That Parallel Exceed in particular is just absolutely incredible.
It's great in every deck, but when you're playing Salad,
insane.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be setting the World Legacy Memories, one of the most powerful cards in pure Mekk-Knights.
I like this because this is really showing exactly how the Mekk-Knight deck likes to operate. Very, very, very tempo-oriented. They made every play possible using the inherent summons of the Mekk-Knights to play around the Salamangreat Roar. Was able to eliminate the Sunlight Wolf because they have very good attack stats, and then was able to follow that up in main phase 2 with a Gearsu, going into Lib, and now they've got themselves set up. If they have a World Legacy Secrets, they can bring back the Green Horizon. They still have the option to go into Morningstar to bring that card out. They have Memory, and they just put themselves in this incredible position.
Definitely. Have you ever actually played Hearthstone? Because have you ever played Hearthstone, actually?
I have. That is largely where I learned pretty much all of my non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Like card game terms. That's why I use the word tempo a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had to like describe this is like, these are 2 decks that really thrive on like tempo and really like accumulating resources and just not really setting up like negates, but setting up advantage. So this is like, in my opinion, like a matchup really akin to like rogue mirror matches. Like,
yeah, I like that analogy for sure.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be grabbing the World Legacy Secret, one of the more surprising powerful cards. Being able to just shut off columns for monster effects, and if you can get that in an extra monster zone column and a main deck monster and a main monster zone column with something like a Indigo, then you're honestly like set for life. Yeah,
it's very interesting to sometimes watch this deck go off. He has interesting the World Legacy Succession as well. This is a fantastic scenario for Shannon right now. Their hand was almost perfect for outing exactly what Chrono was able to present to them. And I like the inclusion here of the World Legacy World Chalice. I believe this is similar to a Thunder King Ryo's effect, where if a monster, especially from the extra deck, you can tribute the World Chalice and send that monster to the graveyard. So it doesn't negate the summon, doesn't destroy, but it does just send it away.
Definitely. If we are going to be seeing that Salamangreat Foxy effect, if I were Shannon, I would definitely just be shotgunning that World Legacy Secret, as we do see now. Going to be grabbing the Green Horizon, I believe, just to help set up further for next turn. No, we're just going to be grabbing Yellow Star.
It's interesting, the inclusion of Green Horizon. Now, of course, I played a lot of the pure Mekk-Knight deck myself, but I'm nowhere near as good as Shannon at it by any means. But the Green Horizon is an interesting inclusion, as I have the list in front of me. There is not a copy of World Legacy Scars in this deck, as that is a very valid win condition for the Mekk-Knight deck, because really all you need is to open Gearsu, blue, purple, You can also get away with World Legacy Memory. I think Key does it as well. There's pretty much Gearsu plus any one copy of 10 cards in your deck can get you to a full Scars combo.
Yeah, like definitely that is one. Like Scars is honestly, weirdly enough, one of the best win conditions, and just rip your opponent's hand in extra deck. But yeah, it definitely does take a lot of resource commitment, and like if you get like stopped midway through, like sure you'll have like a bunch of Mekk-Knights on board, but you're gonna have like no real card advantage in hand, and maybe at best like a World Legacy secret.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we're not seeing a lot of players run. And additionally, the Mekk-Knight main deck is really, really tight.
That it is, yeah. Now, it's interesting here because we see the World Legacy Memory, and this is exactly the setup that is so scary in the pure Mekk-Knight deck. When you have that Morningstar set up, you have Secrets that's able to get you essentially a monster effect negate out of the graveyard, and then being able to use Memory to fetch something like Indigo Eclipse to give you 2 more, in essence, monster negates here. So powerful. But they do actually have if I'm right, yeah, it's only World Legacy Secret does apply only to Mekk-Knight monsters, so they could have summoned these Gazelle into the World Legacies column. They would not have been able to leverage that part of World Legacy Secret.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you can't really play around everything when you're
True.
playing. True. It's really hard to. Yeah, you can't really see into the future in every scenario. Looks like
Good point.
Yeah, looking like we're gonna be seeing a Sunlight Wolf, and we're gonna just be spinning back to the extra deck with the World Chalice.
Yeah, that's particularly powerful since it sends, the Bailings actually can't protect it here.
Does it send? Oh, it sends. I thought it spun back to the extra deck.
Oh, I wish.
Better.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, this might just be enough for game. Because once that gets spun back, he's already used his normal summon on Foxy. He's got no equalizers in hand because of that Salamangreats Sanctuary. This might just be a hard pass.
The question now, because we see how much here? 44, 6,600 damage. Ooh, that's good. We'll get them back into it, but we do see 6,600 points of damage presented on board, and they don't have anything like a full loop or anything like that right now. So if the Salamangreat player can establish something here, then they might actually be able to sort of inch by inch work their way back into this game.
I wouldn't imagine it's going to be too hard to grab out maybe like one extra smidge of damage. But yeah, looking like we're going to be grabbing back a Salamangreat Roar, unless that last set card is something we don't know, or he's going to be trying to moving that Indigo Eclipse into the Sunlight Wolf. Wow, Salamangreat Circle, amazing card. He might actually be using the second effect. No, it's only monster effects. I thought it was all card effects. Unfortunate. Because that way he could play around the secret. I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
What would you be grabbing in this situation? Like, okay, well, Spinny's alright, but
probably looking for some sort of extender into. It's hard to say. You still have that Indigo move, so even if you go into Access Code Talker, if they predict the Access Code Talker, they can move the Indigo, and then the continuous effect of World Legacy Secret will actually still negate the Access Code Talker's effects, even though you can't respond to it.
There's not really too much to predict, even if you are going to be going into the Access Code Talker, because like if you see 3 monsters on board plus that Sunlight Wolf, you know something's up.
Interestingly enough, they actually let the Sunlight Wolf resolve, it looks like, to get the roll back to hand.
Well, I guess no reason to try and force anything, but that's really interesting. I guess none of the Mekk-Knights really do activate anything.
True.
They really do activate to summon. But
so one of the trickier parts here for a deck that is Link-centric like Salamangreat, if in the scenario where there was a Mekk-Knight in that column, nothing you summon from the extra deck is going to be able to get its effects. So we'll see if that comes into play. But yeah, it looks like Chrono is going to try to extend into a way to beat this board.
Yeah, maybe trying to go for Salamangreat like Heat Leo spins, but this is like a really rough situation.
Yeah. It is worth noting that the Indigo Eclipse will have to return to hand due to, on the resolution of War Legacy Memory. Fortunately, if the Morningstar survives, that is a free 2 columns right there, though.
Yeah, definitely. Morningstar is honestly one of the most powerful like link 2s for any archetype, to be honest. It sets up your graveyard for a World Legacy Secret if you decide to grab it. You can grab Key, you can grab Succession, you can grab so much of this card. Incredible.
Yeah, it gives that just blanket protection. The part that everybody, I think everybody has lost to that particular effect of Morningstar at least once, where they attack in and they go, okay, and then just wait, what's going on?
I cannot tell you the amount of remote duels quad where people just read Morningstar and they're just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna swing this out Eldritch, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, am I missing something? And I'm like, yeah.
Sure are. Yeah, very, very cool card for the archetype, and just in general, just a very powerful card. Now, and we are going to go to game 2. We did see pretty much exactly what we discussed there, the problem of moving. Once you move that Mekk-Knight into that extra monster zone column, nothing you're summoning from the extra deck is getting its effect. Not even Access Code Talker is going to be able to resolve its effects. So that's very, very well played by Shannon there to play around the Salamangreat Roar and then set up exactly the play they needed to completely deny their opponent of anything. I mean, they denied about 6 different options there.
Yeah, definitely. Who would have guessed that Unicorn is still pretty good in 2020, even if it is a pseudo?
True.
If you're Chrono, what would you really be trying to side or like really do in this matchup? Because this is like a really interesting matchup for you.
I feel like you could run into that old mindset of, I guess I'm just going to let them go first because it's Mekk-Knight, so maybe they don't have anything, which is not necessarily wrong, because without Gearsu, the turn 1 for the Mekk-Knight deck is still very, very underwhelming. So I think that would largely be your strategy, and then you hope to sort of leverage the kind of the tempo or the mid-range options that we discussed that Salamangreat has to manipulate the board from there, and then similar to how Shannon did in game 1, set yourself up into a position where you can just completely deny their plays and win the game that way.
Yeah, definitely. We did see the Mekk-Knight Gearsu come down, but that was met with the Imperm.
Oh, I didn't realize during game. Also, next. But yeah, that's that is in fact pretty much what we were predicting there. They decided, you know what, you can go first. They sided in, well, they probably have the impermanence in the main deck, but they decided, you know what, I'm just going to side in everything that can break a board or can prevent a board, and they did exactly that, and they're starting out strong with Sign-Up Mining into Lady Debug.
Certainly Debug going to be able to grab that Gazelle, I'm assuming. And unless Shannon's got any real options, I think this might be it for him, to be honest, because we didn't see an Ash Blossom on the Sign-Up Mining, because that's a 2-for-1. You typically want to like Ash Blossom those, even if you know your opponent hasn't really committed a normal summon.
There are quite a few cards that are just like instant Ash Blossom target, you know?
Yeah, like Extravagance, all the elixirs ever.
Yeah. Desires, if it's just straight up shotgunned, like beginning of the turn. Sign-Up Mining is like the... When I think Ash targets, I think Sign-Up Mining is just the biggest magnet for Ash Blossom. That and Extravagance for sure, like you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Chrono's gonna be really... He's honestly got the ball rolling at this point. The weird part about Lady Debug openings is that you don't really have an easy way to proc your own to proc the Gazelle in hand, unless you're linking off that Bailing specifically. But he does have the Salamangreat Jack Jaguar graveyard, so he might be able to get some nice loops set up with that.
You remember when people, because when Salamangreat first came out and it had 3 Gazelle and just all of these options, you remember when people said Lady Debug wasn't even good?
Yeah, it's like when you think about it, it was like, when you like think about it like back then, it's like, wow, Salamangreat was really just on some like, just on the like cracked up power level.
It was so bonkers that people were like, yeah, honestly, Flame Buffalo is just, you know, I'd rather just dig into the deck. What do I need Debug for?
Yeah, it was like, originally you ran like 3 Debug, and then everyone like immediately hopped off that to go on like Flame Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because I like drawing cards.
It has been very fun to see the evolution of the Salamangreat deck, as it has been around for quite a while.
Remember when people ran like artifacts in that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Raphael Naiman.
I remember always asking people, why do we still call it Salad? Because it was called Salad because it was Salamangreat with like Phantasme and dragons essentially. And everyone's like, it's just shorter. It's like, well, yeah, can't argue that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, never forget the days of just like Salamangreat, like triple trap trick, triple triple Sanctum. Those are like that was nightmare fuel. But looks like he's gonna be able to get some resource loops. Gonna be returning the Gazelle. Very interesting. I would actually, in my opinion, I would have tried to return the Baylings because you've already got one in Graveyard for the setup, for the protection.
I wonder, yeah, it's an interesting. They seem very confident, and they immediately shuffled their deck. So this is the line they want to go for, and we saw that they are looking to go for a much more aggressive play here as they sent the Spinny off of the Gazelle as opposed to going for a defensive option like Rage or Roar. So they're probably looking to try and end this one right now.
Yeah, honestly, maybe like, transcode access code talker really just does do it.
Yeah, probably. Oh, you know what? Update into access code talker is probably what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's definitely it, but...
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, Phantasme, pretty good card, but...
So Phantasme will draw 3. Now, Nibiru is without a doubt the best hand trap you can run in the Mekk-Knight deck since it gives you a token that you can manipulate a column with. So if they are able to draw into it, they can steal this game from the jaws of defeat right now.
Yeah, definitely. One of the funny things I found out playing like pure Mekk-Knight with like Girsu is that you give your opponent a token, it like sets up a column for them, but you don't really have a way to get rid of that token. So you're just like, oh yeah, I just gave my opponent a free monster. This might not be good. Yeah,
unless you're like really popping off with Lib. There have been times where I just lost the game. Just like, good, you gave me a starter.
Yeah, hello, Link Karibo.
Yeah.
But...
Or you forget to play around the relinquished anima zone. It's like,
Oh yeah, that too. A transcode coming down, gonna be reviving that update jammer. And that's just gonna go into an access code. And if he's got no Nibiru or anything in hand, this is likely just game.
Yeah, gonna go for the biggest access code possible here. And funnily enough, that granted effect by update jammer is actually not a once per turn, if I remember right. It's not. No. So in the scenario where you can bring back update jammer, link into something, keep that monster alive, which doesn't happen in this scenario, but you can actually grant multiple attacks. Multiple attacks.
Yeah, well I suppose there's no real point for like update jammer to have like a real once per turn, but the infinite impermanence is gonna come down on the access code talker on resolution. That's gonna be real critical. This is a red reboot!
Wow.
Well, when you draw it, you draw it.
Impressive patience there to wait on the impermanence, kind of saying, you know what, I'm pretty sure the only thing I'm losing to here is access code. I'll just let them go through their whole play and wait.
Yeah.
Really interesting that they brought in the red reboot, though. I suppose to play around secrets, and yeah, well played by Chrono there.
Yeah, the red reboot side is like a really interesting because if the Mekk-Knight player thinks or tries to gear their side deck towards going first, usually like the first thing that comes to mind is maybe just like, yeah, let's just slap it like triple judgment, triple strike, and like we'll be fine. But yeah, Chrono one step ahead of Shannon with the red reboot coming into the side. What are your thoughts on red reboot, honestly?
I think it's one of those cards that really should be at 0 or 3.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of those cards that's just that unfair, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of like Scythe, but Scythe is at 3.
Yeah, it's kind of that old Max C argument where like, if you're going to get sacked by it, at least make it consistent. It feels really bad when you just kind of in this scenario where like, all right, I wait, because like that patience, I really have to commend Shannon for the patience to be like, I'll just let everything go through. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to imperm the access code talker. That will probably get them to pass against Phantasmic Girsu. And you just get that one red reboot. It's like, cool. Why did they even bring that in against my deck?
Yeah. It's like really it's one of those cards that just very unfair for, what's it called? Wow, Shannon actually opted to go first.
That they did. And you know, I checked when I was missing game 2, I checked to see if maybe they had a scars in the side for that option. They do not.
Interesting.
So they are looking to probably just try to set up some lib into Succession, into Morningstar, try to get out the World Legacy World Chalice. and try to set up your whole bunch of negates and denials that way. Now, fortunately, they are going to be able to take this token into a Linkaribo, and they can get themselves some columns here and get themselves going.
Yeah, maybe. If they have maybe if they had World Armor in hand, they can discard it for the mech. They can discard it when going into a Morning Star, but this is really a suspect. Discarding Key. Well, that card's not going to be really doing too much going first.
Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, I'm going to have to grab memory. That tells a lot about what the hand might be if you don't have anything particularly powerful to bring off of the, or anything too powerful to discard off of the Morning Star.
Yeah, definitely. Getting stopped by the Ash Blossom is really rough. Is Shannon running a... What's that card called? Is Shannon running a True King of All Calamities in his extra deck?
Let's see. They are not. They are actually, believe it or not, this is the extra deck is an extravagance package. There's extravagance in the main deck.
Oh, okay.
So maxing out on Morningstar and Lib, and then 2 each of the Crusadia Mekk-Knight Avermax, Spectrum Supreme, Galatea, and Yi Automaton Dingirsu.
Interesting. For a second, I was like, extravagance. Oh, that sets up a column nicely. So, yeah.
I believe the Mekk-Knights actually, don't they have to be special? They actually don't have to be special summoned in attack position.
Yeah,
Wow, I'm bad.
Cyber Dragon 2.0.
I literally thought, okay, because like I said, I've been playing the Mekk-Knight deck quite a bit on EDO and Dual Book. I literally thought they had to be summoned in attack position.
Reading is optional, kids.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Especially Twitch chat.
This is actually quite good. You have a nice setup here. Assuming you have World Legacy Secrets, you're in a great position. You've also, by giving your opponent this token, no evenly match, no Lightning Storm.
Yeah, definitely. This is in my opinion really telegraphing that you do have the secrets, but I don't think Salamangreats really has any way to play around it outside of that maybe drawing into a red reboot.
Well, we're gonna find out right away if they do or don't. This could be interesting because if they fire it now and have to fire this Indigo's effect, they're locked. They can't move anymore. Yeah,
like it's really rough, but he does have the extra Monster Zone column locked up with the Mekk-Knight Blue Sky. But yeah, just gonna be activating that World Legacy Secret. Cosmic Cyclone, really rough.
So again, this is where I think Chrono now has pretty much the option to, similar to Game 2, just keep the game plan simple. Just turbo yourself into Access Code Talker and finish them off.
Yeah, definitely. At least we know that Chrono didn't open the red reboot, because otherwise he would have just maybe slapped that down just for the insurance against, again, if that last card is like infinite permanence. But
really?
Still up in the air.
Good game knowledge here from Chrono to know exactly what cards that really beat them in game 1 and then side appropriately, siding in red reboots so that again you could simplify the game plan into Access Code Talker, siding in Cosmic Cyclone, knowing the fact that Girsu is pretty much the be all end all for the deck at this point. Well played.
Really?
Far from over though.
Yeah, you can honestly do a lot, especially with that token. That token's providing a... Is it a Cypress?
It is...
It's a machine.
Yeah, I think it is it's a machine. Funnily enough, I remember somebody asked me once, is like, does the fact that it's a World Legacy token ever come up? And the answer is yes. Sometimes when you World Legacy Memory and then you try to go to Girsa, you cannot use the token effect since you are locked into Mekk-Knights only.
Oh yeah. Huh. Looks like we're gonna see the Balinks come down, gonna be grabbing the Salamangreats Sanctuary, just get all of our plays rolling, but as we said earlier, we're gonna have to be linking up that Balinks and using that reincarnation effect just to get that Gazelle onto board.
Ideally, if Shannon can live this turn, they actually aren't too bad off, because Morningstar is going to be difficult for this deck to deal with anything other than Access Code Talker. Oh, but Spinny. Well, now it's really tough for sure. Especially they've given him that free token as well. This is, you got to find a way to stop this Access Code Talker, otherwise this is going to be curtains.
we still do have a set card and a card in hand. That set card could maybe be another infinite impermanence, or he could have Nibiru in hand. Definitely very plausible. But we're just
And Nibiru would actually still be great because purple it's crazy. Purple just thrives in slower formats for sure. One of these days there's going to be a format slow enough where purple is just absolutely dominant.
Yeah, even in formats like outside of the PPGs, with like even in the normal format of like Needle Fiber and everything, Mekk-Knight Invoked is still a very, very playable deck. Like Eldritch sets up calls very nicely for you. Your Mekk-Knights have like just enough high of an attack power to just get over monsters in like defense mode or even attack mode, to be honest. And it's very easy to just start picking apart boards with just your attacks in. Very blind second cards like hand traps and such.
And we'll see from here where they're going to go, but I think the game plan is quite simple now. Now, I can't imagine you're looking to do anything other than access code here, or update into access code, I should say, or pretty much we're going to see a mirror of the exact play made in game one of update into transcode, into update, into access code, into that would be 3 pops, and she'll have 1 fire, a wind, and a earth.
What's very interesting actually is that because the token is summoned in the extra monster zone column, he won't have a zone to summon anything he won't have a zone to summon the anything transcode is trying to revive into, so that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I've been thinking, like, surely the token won't make too big of a difference, but right now we can see as they're backtracking a little bit, it's kind of being a pain. If they don't have a Link Karibo, which is also Cyberse, or we know they have a Link Karibo whose materials I forget what they require, but they have options to remove this token if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Salamangreats honestly doesn't have the best tools when it comes to just removing random monsters, because most decks would just like include like a Link Karibo. They run like a level 1, or maybe just like a Link Spider or something. But yeah, Salamangreats' extra deck is very tight from what I remember.
Definitely. Yeah, because I mean, you have to be playing those 3 Sunlight Wolf and 2 Heat Leo are pretty much mandatory.
Yeah, honestly,
so that's looking, 3rd even.
This is looking really rough for the Salamangreat player, honestly. You might just be forced to go into like into Sunlight Wolf and he might not be able to OTK.
Yeah, it turns out the machine type token is more than enough, as I have now looked into it, and it is Link Karibo can't be summoned as it's a level 4 or lower Cyber, similar to Phalanx here. But another great tool that all Cyber decks, but Salamangreat in particular, received an Eternity Code here, Splash Mage, just a generic Monster Reborn, more or less.
I sure love Monster Reborn in my extra deck. Very cool.
What's great also, this is exactly what you need too, is this is going to give you a point that points away from the token, so now you can also go into your update jammer here.
Yeah, definitely. But access code for 2 is 1 less than access code for 3, and he's going to have 1 less pop because of it.
Correct.
But
and
Phantasmic coming down.
There you go. All right, this is the moment of truth, everybody. Hold your breath. Are they going to find a Nibiru, a Veiler? Ghost Mourner, unfortunately, wouldn't be able to do it.
Would you even really want to be grabbing Nibiru? Because
you're probably not, actually.
Yeah, like even if you do Nibiru, you don't have access to purple. No, you do have access to purple. Never mind, I'm a liar.
I suppose actually, I feel like it might be good with Snar. They don't really have an opportunity to get into Sunlight Wolf now, not very easily, so they can't really recur the Gazelle. So if they find Nibiru, this would actually be quite good for Shannon.
Yeah, definitely.
Boy, that token would be very big, though. But I suppose you would still be able to Gearsu, link away with your own Nibiru to get into Lib, and then find an extender from there.
Yeah, Lib on its own. That just searches like Succession. You could maybe send like a... Yeah, you can honestly just like go off to the races. And Access Code Talker is going to be coming down. If there's a time to Nibiru, now would be the time.
What's good here is they also gave themselves another body. So this access code has access to 3 pops, 4 if they want to, banish their own access code talker for some reason. But They really only have 3 pops here, so they can't quite clear the entire board. Well, they can't clear the entire board, but they can't get game since this access code can't attack twice.
It attacked twice. It was used for update jammer was used for it, I believe.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Can
Unfortunately,
attack twice. Yeah, I misspoke. Can attack twice.
yeah, unfortunate for Chrono, but looks like Shan is just gonna be holding on by a thread.
Yeah, no responses here. This isn't too bad. Actually, boy, I look at this now. Purple comes back. If you search out blue and blue does not catch an Ash Blossom or any form of negation, you have 2 columns.
There are 2 free searches, and honestly, blue, yeah, with that, you could just not blue, grab Red Moon, and you can just pop that access code dogger, and you're in the driver's seat from there on.
Access code talker, a very funny card where on your turn, it is just the most cracked monster of all time. But on your opponent's turn, it's like that meme with the really buff dog. Access code on your turn. Access code on your opponent's turn, just the little weenie dog. Yeah.
Please don't attack. I'm very small. But yeah, this might just have to be a access code pop 3 and just maybe try and swing.
Yo! Wait a minute. Hold on. He hit Awaking the Dragon off of the access code talker. Going for a full board clear.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead.
The Shrub Serpent has entered the chat room.
Wow, what do you get here? Like, Ultimate Falcon doesn't do anything. It dies by battle.
Oh, hi, Dick.
Hug. Wow.
Not like this.
Incredible. Waking the... Wait, hold on. I missed... That must be on the side. I missed that. It is. Wow. 2 Waking the Dragon in the side deck. And a Last Warrior from another planet.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Still looking to earn your invite for the...
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.